If you ask people what is the most important part of PC gaming, the answer would of course be the PC itself. And while it is not wrong, things are much more complicated than that, and I'll be tackling about this on this series. Why? Because the way you interact with your PC depends on the peripherals that you have, whether it is your mouse, keyboards, monitor, headsets, speakers, and many more. And that's why, stick around. Part 1. Mouse. Now before we start, I want to say that of all the peripherals I'm going to talk about on this series, gaming branding has the most impact on a gaming mouse. And by impact, I mean the difference in quality between an office mouse and a gaming mouse are actually substantial and important. While on other peripherals, it mostly doesn't really matter that much. And gaming brandings are definitely less impactful on those stuff. And so, from the get-go, the TLDR of this part 1, if all you need right now is just confirmation whether you should get a gaming mouse or not, yes, you should get one. Now, things that you should look when you are buying a gaming mouse. First, sensors, second is dimensions, third is weight, and lastly are the extra features. Now, sensors. These days, it actually doesn't matter too much because the performance difference are mostly marginal. And most differentiating factor would be the features that it supports. For example, some sensors might support higher DPI. And for your information, DPI are usually used to measure a mouse sensitivity. So higher means more sensitive. That means within the same range you are moving your mouse, the cursor will move further than when you are using a lower DPI mouse. Now, second of all, dimensions. Now, this, along with the next point that I'm going to talk about, is actually the most important part when you are looking for a gaming mouse. Basically, dimensions are the shape and the size of the mouse. And what should you do when you're looking for one? Well, get the one that suits your hand size and grip style the best. On the subject of grip style, there are two types. First type is palm, where your fingers fully rest on the mouse itself, meaning that all part of your finger touches the mouse. The second style is claw, where your fingers arches over the mouse, above the mouse, like a claw. So basically only the end of your finger touches the mouse, while the rest of it basically floating. Now most people actually use both styles on a regular basis depending on what they're doing. Palm style are usually much more relaxed, therefore they will use it on casual session or when they are browsing the desktop, the internet, and many more. While the claw style is actually used when you are on a competitive mode, like when you are playing competitive games like CSGO, Fortnite, Valorant, and many more. And just keep in mind, if you frequently palm your mouse rather than using the claw style, so basically you browse the internet more or you work more rather than you play games, you should find a mouse that are slightly bigger than your hand in order to accommodate the extra space that your fingers will take. Now, shape. There are actually two shapes that are pretty well known. First will be ambidextrous and second will be ergonomic. Ambidextrous means that both sides are the same shape. Ergonomic, on the other hand, means that it's shaped for specific hands, whether it is for the right-handed people or a left-handed people. Third point is the weight. How heavy or light a mouse will affect your comfort and the way you use it. And depending on the games you play, having a lighter mouse might actually mean longer playtime session. It is simple math. The lighter it is, the less stamina you will use. Now, it also actually depends on the kind of games you are going to play. FPS player tends to lean toward lightest possible mouse because FPS players tends to do a lot of fast movement and also flicks. On the other hand, heavier mouse has the benefit of more robust build quality, and usually more features like more buttons or bigger battery if we're talking about wireless mouse, and many more. So if you need those features, then maybe you should go with that. The fourth point would be extras, and there are lots of things that can fit into this category like software support, wireless capability, the mouse design itself, whether it is honeycomb or solid, mouse bit design, switches, cable materials, and many more. And while all of these are important, it is not as important as something like shape or weight, and that's why I put it all below here. And also, it is also pretty subjective because it all depends on what you want for your experience. So if you want something like restraintless mouse experience, well, get a wireless mouse. If you prefer a honeycomb design, which usually means it is lighter than other normal gaming mouse, then get the one with that design. If you want larger mouse speeds, look a mouse that has it. Or maybe the most important thing in your gaming mouse would be your RGB. Well, there are lots of options out there that includes that. So, bottom line, I mentioned before that gaming mouse are one of those cases where the gaming advertisement and gaming branding are actually not full of shit, because it is mostly isn't. A gaming mouse is plain and simple, a good mouse. So remember, while it all depends on your taste and preference, there are things that you should look out for when you're looking for your most suitable mouse. Alright guys, I hope you all find this part 1 informative. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button to be notified for my next video where we'll be talking about even more peripherals. If you want to voice your opinion, then don't forget to leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching and be seeing you on the next occasion.